Hello, I'm excited. I just got back from a bicycle ride. Maybe you could tell that. So what was exciting about my bicycle ride is I have finally learned how to ride my bicycle. Now that might sound a little bit silly because I ride my bicycle on a bad year, I ride about 1,000 miles. On a good year, I ride about 3,000 miles. This has been a bad year. But the part that was really exciting to me is it's all about a level of mastery. And we're going to talk about this concept of mastery going forward. But this was really fascinating because the sense of mastery has everything to do with the law of attraction. Now, I talk about law of attraction all the time, and I know you know the law of attraction, and I know the law of attraction, and it works. What you put your attention on is what you get. But the aspect of the law of attraction that I miss particularly, even though I know this, is it's not about the law of attraction doing something for you. It's about you aligning with the law of attraction so that it can give to you. So in this case of my bicycle riding today, it was really exciting. I watch a lot of these really good riders ride, and they ride effortlessly, 20, 25, 30 miles an hour. And it's like they're not even working. I work, I get tired, I really work. But what I was watching today is I got into this rhythm where my spine was in the right place and my feet and legs were just moving in perfect circles effortlessly. The exertion on raising the leg and the exertion on lowering the leg were equal. And it just rolled, and it just was effort. And there was 2 or 3 points where I was exactly in that perfected alignment. It was really, really exciting. And then I fell out of it. And then I got back into it. Then I fell out of it. And it wasn't so much about, oh, I failed. You can't fail. But the exciting part was getting into the alignment of a mastery. And lately I've been talking about this in the Q&As with all the Mastering Alchemy people. And I've had this conversation with the Ascended Masters on numbers of times over the years. And every one of the Ascended Masters refers to their exercises in mastery, their intention on becoming masterful. And it's as if they all have hobbies. Hobbies is really the wrong word for this. It's a very specific focus. Some of them are calligraphers, and they are working at the perfect stroke. Others are painters. Some are composers. Some are violinists and cellists. And they are always working at that, in my case today, that perfect cycle of the legs just simply moving effortlessly. There was no exertion out of place. And it was just a perfect perfection of movement. And they talk about this all the time. But the piece that they talk about, and I think I'm going to go take a shower and come back and talk about this in a minute, but the law of attraction, and although we know this law of attraction, is how do you allow the law of attraction to simply be exactly where it is and you align with the law of attraction so it can give you what you are attempting to be masterful at. But when I looked at what I did today and riding the bicycle, it was aligning with that law of attraction in such a way that, I may have done that before, but I didn't recognize the aspect of the mastery of it, the engagement with it, the oneness of this flow. And it's really the first time I understood at a whole different level when the Ascended Masters say, I've done this paint stroke 1,000,000 times and I have touched it once, just once. And it was so exciting. They would say, well, the average human goes, what's the big deal? But to them, it's just like, it's that perfect mathematics. It was just simply a perfect flow in the alignment, in the aspect of oneness with that law of attraction. When I ride my bike, quite often what I wind up doing is engaging with not only Ascended Masters, the Lords of Light, the Metatron, Yeshua, whomever it may be. And that too is really an exciting flow for me because here where we live, there's lots of roads that are 20, 30 miles long straight through the desert. And you get into a flow And there have been many times where I came to the end of that road and really don't remember. It's not that you don't remember. It's I missed the 20 miles of the road because I was in this engagement with those different entities, aligning these different levels of energy. And so it was as if minutes went by maybe, but 20, 30 miles went by. And you lose time in that context. Time just simply is present time. And in that connectiveness, you just simply exist. So the space where I rode today, in that perfection of that just once or twice, that just consistent flow effortlessly, was really exciting. So rather than try to structure that into some kind of Q&A, I thought I'd just come back and talk about this, because this sense of who are you and what's important to you and where do you strive for your own mastery. In fact, is mastery, is perfection, is excitement about even in your reality. So let me go take a shower. I'm going to come back, talk a little bit more about this law of attraction, because there is something that's changing, that's opening up the ability for you to simply step into these flows much more effortlessly than ever before. So I'll be back in just a minute. Hello again. That was a great shower. So I'm still excited about what I experienced in this bike ride. I want to kind of follow up on that a little bit. And in the process of this experience of paying attention to finding that really perfect balance, and in that moment, in that really 1, 2, 3 seconds of, wow, this is effortless. This is just simply happening. The wheel stroke, the leg motion, the balance in the spine, sitting on that bike, finding there was no effort. It was completely effortless. But the part that was additionally exciting in that is all of a sudden it was as if this huge excitement, this huge awareness basically just was there. What I'm noticing in what continued in the bike ride, I'd fall out of that space, I'd get back into it, I'd fall out of it, and then I began to think. And so that's always the piece that knocks you out of it, is I began to think in that layer of thought of the rational mind engaging. And once you start to engage from that rational mind thinking, even in your excitement thinking, you fall out of that perfect alignment. And so the Ascended Masters have said often is it's getting into it and then just observing it and holding it and holding it and holding it. And many of them talk about that brush stroke, and it's as if they get to the edge of the canvas and they have to make a decision, and they almost want to keep moving their hand even though they're off the canvas. It's the engagement with the experience. So law of attraction, very interesting, because we all say we know the law of attraction. It's like what you put your attention on is what you get. I expand that often on what you put your attention on. I, the universe, who adores you, simply provides it for you. There's no discussion, there's no right and wrong, there's no you are a good person or a bad person. There is no engagement. It's simply right at that point when you hold your vibration, your attention in the alignment of that balance, that law of attraction, everything is given to you. And so I'm going to do more of these, I think, because this was very encouraging, where I was thinking and talking and kind of in the mix. And the Ascended Masters, in this case, had a lot to say in my thinking space as I got out of my own mastery. But one of the pieces that is a very interesting piece that's unfolding, that we've been talking about quite a bit in terms of how do you get humanity to begin to get out of their attention point on, ain't it awful, you don't understand, I have all this baggage. And many of you who have stepped out of a great amount of that, how do you basically keep your attention on what you wish to create? And it's this concept of mastery, which you've heard maybe hundreds of times, but not held as a concept. The concept of really beginning to be masterful, perfecting something. And again, the Ascended Master said, not everything. You don't have to perfect everything. It's just this passion about that one paint stroke. It's really simple. One paint stroke just being a perfect stroke. One composition of music. One cello experience in many of their own experiences. And they just work at it. And it's perfectly okay not to have it. It's that striving for the masterful sense of joy that just simply happens with the paint stroke, happens with the bicycle pedal stroke, happens with the sense of stepping into something and having an experience for yourself. Mastery. There's an aspect of this that we're going to talk about more and more in the future. We're going to do more of it in Mastering Alchemy, but I'm going to start talking about it in Facebook. There's something that is referred to as the ninth ray of creation. And the ninth ray is all about sound and sound tones and sound vibrations. And something called carrier waves is the ability to create on a thought, to create something from non-physical into physical. And quite often when we use the rational mind, we just think, oh, I want to have this happen. And then sometimes we hold our attention on it and we move towards it. Quite often, though, we have an intention and then we forget what we just had an intention just a minute ago. But this aspect of this carrier wave, this sound tone, is the ability to take a thought and with sound, open it up, loosen it up, let it flow, let it begin to have a life on its own, let it have possibility, aligning with this law of attraction. And so I'm going to make a suggestion, which kind of comes out of the blue here. Start to hum. Now, that's an interesting concept, humming. But I don't hum. It's not something I've ever done. But again, in this whole new body of information, in these conversations I'm having with the Lords of Light and the Ascended Masters in this case particularly, which is, they're engaging much more than they have in the past here. But that humming, if you start to hum to a piece of music, along with the music, you're going to find that there's a lightening up in the body. There's an ease, a flow, kind of a joy that begins to come into this. Don't try to make anything out of it. Don't look for anything particular, miraculously happening. Just begin to see if you can get into a sense of humming. We're going to take that into changing how we speak words. We're going to take it into the sense of creating and holding your attention point on in intention and allowing this flow to start to come to you. So something interesting we're about to do, but it's in this sense of becoming masterful at your creations. In that alignment, one of the things that is going to happen is your excitement about your alignment, about your sense of mastery, about your sense of winning a Sudoku game, something really simple. The excitement of figuring it out and accomplishing, succeeding. You're going to find that the noise of the world around you is going to drop away considerably faster than in the past. So this is really an exciting place. I think you're going to find some opportunities to do things differently than you've ever done before. And so I even had a different thought. Contact people like this on Facebook. I'm not a big Facebook person, although this is Facebook. Begin to give this a gift to other people. So let's start to see if we can get other people into this alignment of mastery, this alignment of engagement in well-being without arguing with the politics, without arguing with the noise, without arguing with climate change, without arguing with all the things that are very much in the awareness, but to a great extent have nothing to do with you. Let's see if we can bring some other people into this place. You know, if you have friends, we have a tendency to lose friends in Mastering Alchemy, but if you have friends, start bringing some of them into this. Share this Facebook with them. I think we're going to begin to develop a whole little series of small classes in this format right here. So, mastery, interesting concept. Get on your bicycle. You might find you enjoy it. Blessings.